Athletes, coaches, team managers, the training period is now over. Athletes, please exit the pool and make ready for the first round of competition. And please find your way to the marshalling area for athlete introductions. Training is now over.
La période d'entraînement et d'échauffement est maintenant terminée. Athlètes, veuillez vous rendre dans la zone de rassemblement d'où vous ferez votre entrée avant les présentations.
Diving fans, welcome to the World Aquatics Diving World Cup Montreal 2023.
Amateurs de plongeon, bienvenue à la Coupe du monde de plongeon World Aquatics à Montréal, en direct de la piscine du Parc olympique.
Welcome to the Olympic Park Sports Center, and welcome to our event, the Women's 3-meter Springboard Championship Final.
La prochaine épreuve sera celle de la finale des femmes au tremplin de 3 mètres.
We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional and unceded territory of the Mohawk Nation, a place which has long served as a site of meeting and exchange amongst nations. We would like to thank the Mohawk Nation for their hospitality.
Nous reconnaissons que nous sommes sur un territoire autochtone millénaire, lieu de rencontre et de diplomatie entre les peuples, ainsi que du traité de la Grande Paix. Nous remercions la nation Mohawk de son hospitalité en territoire non cédé.
We are just moments away from the introduction of our finalists in the women's 3 meters event. Welcome to the women's 3 meter springboard final.
Mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue à la finale des femmes au tremplin de 3 mètres.
Please welcome our first athlete representing Japan,
Représentant le Japon,
Haruka Enomoto. Representing Germany,
représentant l'Allemagne, Lena Henschel.
representing Great Britain,
Représentant la Grande-Bretagne,
Grace Reed. Representing Australia,
représentant l'Australie, Brittany O'Brien.
representing Japan,
Représentant le Japon,
Sayaka Mikami. Representing United States of America,
représentant les États-Unis d'Amérique, Hailey Hernandez.
representing Switzerland,
Représentant la Suisse, Michel Amberg.
representing Canada,
Représentant le Canada,
Mia Valley. Representing People's Republic of China,
représentant la République populaire de Chine, Chang Yani.
representing United States of America,
Représentant les États-Unis d'Amérique,
Sarah Bacon. Representing Canada,
représentant le Canada, Pamela Ware.
representing People's Republic of China,
Représentant la République populaire de Chine,
Shen Yuan. Diving fans, one more round of applause for your athletes competing in the women's 3 meter championship final.
Mesdames et messieurs, faites du bruit pour vos finalistes des femmes au tremplin de 3 mètres.
It's always our pleasure to introduce the officials for these events. Please welcome your referee, Barb Bush. Your assistant referee, Sarah Toth.
Juge numéro 1, Victoria Tomlinson. Juge numéro 2, Rao Lang. Juge numéro 3, Amy Kwan. Juge numéro 4, Michael Barth. Juge numéro 5, Paul Beach. Juge numéro 6, Aaron Barrett.
And we're back at the World Aquatics Diving World Cup here in Montreal. Alex Despatie, Jenna Bell, this is your field of play.
Yes.
And I can see it. People can't see you at home, but I can see it in your eyes. This is going to be a very special moment for you. Calling these dives, you know most of these divers here because you competed against them just a few years ago. It's Going to be very exciting.
Very exciting. I'm very happy. I'm excited for the girls. They look ready. They look good. They're in great shape. Very looking forward to see great dives.
And for Team Canada, we have Mia Vallée, who's the rising star of Team Canada, silver medal at the World Championships in Budapest in 2022. And then the experienced Pamela Ware, who's going to be taking part in this event as well. And we were just talking before getting on the air. You think that it's a good thing that Pamela is at the back of the field with all the strongest divers in this event?
It does, because it's going to give her, first of all, it's always better to be at the end. It gives you the momentum of the girls. When they dive good, you want to do good, so you get that energy. And at the same time, it's going to be a great challenge for her to make sure she's going to be able to compete for the next competition coming up this summer.
And she has that experience as well. She's been a medalist at the Barcelona World Championships in 2013. She's a silver medalist at the Pan American Games. She knows what it's like to compete against the best in the world.
She knows, and she has a lot of experience. And Pamela, she knows when it's time to dive well, she knows how to do it.
Also, another little information about Pamela. I was talking to her throughout the week. There she is. She's going to get married this summer.
Yes.
Congratulations to her.
Congratulations, yes. Very happy for her.
I know, me too. And she was very happy as well when I spoke to her. 5 rounds of diving here, all with unlimited degree of difficulty. We're going to see some very good diving this afternoon.
And it's funny because in general, the girls are always doing the same dive. So it's really, it depends on the strategy that they want to use to really choose which dive they're doing in which round.
Tell me a little bit more about this, because obviously throughout 5 dives, it seems like a lot, but it's not. So your strategy has to be very sharp, right?
It has to be very sharp, and you have to do your best dive. For first dive and last dive, you have to keep your best dive for sure.
And then in the middle of the event, being a little bit in more control of your emotions, of your nerves. And speaking of that, we're going to get the event started in just a few moments. Kicking it off for the women is Japanese diver Haruka Inomoto. And her first dive will be a forward 2.5 somersault with 1 twist, pike position. Last little nod towards the coach and the referee, letting them know that she's ready to go.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's very tricky when you're the first one to start, to break the ice, start the competition, so you're a little bit nervous, and you can see that she really went for it, and she really saved that entry at the end.
Held on to the pike position just a little bit too long. Minimal damage though, even though she passes the vertical. 63 points total on the first dive of this women's 3-meter final. From Germany now, Lena Hengel. She will be starting the event with an inward 2.5 pike position. Team Germany cheering her on.
That was a little bit harder for Lena today. Inward 2.5, it's a very tricky dive because you really need to wait on the board to get all that momentum before going into her pike. And she went really quickly on her pike, so she couldn't get that height of the board that she would have wanted to finish her dive.
Want to use 100% of what the board can give you to get as high as possible. 6.5s on this one for the German. Up next from Great Britain, Grace Reed. She'll be performing a front 2.5 somersaults with 1 twist, pike position.
Beautiful, Grace.
Good save at the
good
end here.
save. She knows how to do that dive, and Grace she's extremely tall. So for her to get that board, she was a little bit back, so she has to really stay calm and not panic to really be able to do that dive because it's not hard for her.
Beautiful entry at the end here. That is the last thing the judges see. They want no splash to give the best scores. 7s to kick off the event for Grace Reed. Here comes the Australian, Brittany O'Brien. She'll be doing an inward 2.5 pike position.
Beautiful, very easy for her. I feel like she really got that connection and she really had that speed going on. She had a beautiful pike position, just missing a little bit for that come out. She come out way too late right here. That's the reason why she rolled on her back.
Missing a little precision here. 6.5 and 7s. Moving along now, next up is Japanese diver Sayaka Mikami. She'll be doing the same dive, an inward 2.5 pike position, 3.0 degree of difficulty.
Beautiful, very easy. I would appreciate her to really keep her feet on the board and not jumping off. And that would have been easier for her right here. But her pike was very beautiful. She had really the time to really look at the water to control that entry.
And you mentioned the little extra jump on the board. The judges will not miss that. But they're happy with the performance. 7.5s for the Japanese diver. From the United States of America, coming up now is Haley Hernandez. And her first dive will be an inward 2.5 in the tuck position. Slightly lower degree of difficulty here with 2.7.
It's a smaller dive, but very important to execute that dive well. Beautiful.
Wow.
Yes, and that's what I was saying. Like when it's a lower dive, smaller dive, you really need to do it well because you want to have that extra point to be in the competition, you know?
Be more comfortable with your dives means good success and big scores here. Just turned 20 years old, 7.5 and 8s on the dive. Solid to build confidence here in the first round. On to the next diver now from Switzerland, Michelle Heimberg. She'll kick off the event with an inward 2.5 pike position, 3.0 degree of difficulty.
Just missing a little bit. When you'll be able to see on the replay, her knee sort of buckled when she was gonna go right here. It was hard for her to really get that energy from the board.
Her body was already falling backwards, which makes it very hard to jump up towards the board as well.
And that's the reason why she was missing at the entry.
6s and 6.5 for 55.50 as a total score for this dive. There's Mia Vallée. She'll start the event with a inward 2.5 pike position.
Beautiful, beautiful.
She's got the whole squad there.
Yes, yes.
To
Cheering
support.
for her, to support, give her energy, and it seems to work out. Beautiful pike position. I would have appreciated to see her feet stick together at the end right there, but in general, it was a very good dive.
Mia Vallée has a lot of competing experience. She goes to school at the University of Miami. And the NCAA circuit is a lot of competing, so she's good in those situations. 66 points to kick it off here in Montreal for Mia Vallée. From China now, an inward 2.5 pike position for Yanni Chang. A lot of the divers choosing to begin the event with the same dive.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yanni has an amazing pike position. Her technique is very good. Look at that. Her arms are straight, pike beautiful, and she was able to do that entry very good, but she just kept her head a little bit in. That's the reason why she rolled a little bit over.
A little bit to work on the entrance here, but the scores are good. 7.5s and 8 for a total of 69 points. Getting the feedback from the iPad. A lot of coaches are using that technology now. Instant replays so that they can understand what happened during the dive. Here comes Sarah Bacon from the United States of America. She will also be doing an inward 2.5 pike.
Wow. She's so good. Her entries, Sarah, her entries are very beautiful, fantastic. Look at that. Pike position, very tight. She looked at the water and she knows exactly where to go to get that entry.
She can be very happy with the start of the event. 8.5s and 9 for a total of 78 points. Solid dive to begin. Here comes Pamela Ware from Canada. She'll be doing a back 2.5 pike position. This is a strong dive for her to start the event.
Wow, it was good, but I know that Pam can do much better than that. So I know that she will be a little bit upset about that because her entry wasn't as clean as she would have loved to. She has a beautiful pike position. Look, she knows exactly where she is in the water, but she was a little bit hesitant when it was time for her to put her hands up and get that entry clean.
And you're right, she knows. Minimal damage though, 7.5s. Very decent start to begin. One more diver to go in this first round here, Yuan Chen of China. She will begin with an inward 2.5 pike position, 3.0 degree of difficulty.
Beautiful. Yanni, Jen is so strong. For her, there's no doubt that it's hard. Her pike is beautiful. I would have appreciated for her to have a better toes pointed, but in general, she knows exactly where she is. And for her, is to keep calm and really focus on the other aspect that she doesn't have to worry too much about making her dive.
Doesn't have to worry about the physical aspect of completing this dive. 8.5s and 9. Very big score to kick it off. Here are the standings after one round. Sarah Bacon and Yuan Chen tied in first place with 78 points. Yanni Chang in third. Pamela Ware and Mia Valet just behind, fourth and fifth place. Lots of diving to come. This is a solid start. Both divers right here tied for first place.
With 78 points, which is a lot.
You would know about that.
Yes.
They're setting the tone for the rest of this event, telling the rest of the field that they mean business here today. Round two getting underway with Japanese diver Haruka Inomoto. And her next dive will be a forward 3.5 pike position.
Good. I really love how she went on that board, and she pushed the board really hard because she really needs all that power to be as high as she can to make that dive. So she grabbed her pike position, and unfortunately she wasn't able to really fully grab her hands to get that clean entry.
6.5s for the front 3.5 pike. And as you mentioned, maybe a little demanding to complete this dive for the Japanese diver. Up next is Lena Henschel, and she will be doing the exact same dive, forward 3.5 pike position.
You know what, Alex? Lena was on the side of the board before going, and I'm pretty sure she got distracted by it, but she's very strong, so she doesn't have to react to it because she could have made that dive really easy. So right here, she was on the side, she reacted to it, and that's the reason why she come out way too late and passed the vertical.
No matter what position you are on the board, you have to stay focused on your technique. 52.70 for her second dive. Something like that tells me it could be the nerves. First approach of the competition.
There's so many things happening in a few seconds, so you really have to stick to your technique.
Here's Grace Reed, considered a veteran in this event, two-time Olympian. She'll be doing a back 2.5 pike.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Very nice. For Grace, she's tall, right? So getting into that pike position can be very difficult for her, but she has a great technique. She knows exactly where she is in the water. Right here, she sees 1, 2, and then she knows where to place.
She arches her back a little bit to go and find that vertical. She knew she had to do that to complete the dive. 7s for her second round dive. Up next from Australia, Brittany O'Brien. She'll be doing a forward 3.5 somersaults in the pike position. 3.1 degree of difficulty.
So Brittany knows how to spin, and she was back up the end of the board. She pushed back, so for her it makes it even harder, and she really needs to go for that speed when that happens to make sure she can make that dive.
And not only she was in a bad position on the board, she also came out of the rotation way too early in the condition that she was. 46.50, that's considered a miss for the Australian. Joel Rodriguez, originally from Mexico, moved to Australia many years ago to be a coach there. Here comes Sayaka Mikami with a forward 3.5 pike position.
Beautiful. I really do appreciate when women are going there and they go for it. They don't hesitate, and that's exactly what she did right here. She went into that, grabbed that pike position, and she knew exactly where she was because she had a great speed of rotation.
And that really makes the difference for us watching when the athletes are giving their 100%. We can sense it, we can feel it. 74.40, she could be very happy with this dive.
That would have been something that I would have loved to be able to do. Give my all the time.
I think you did okay. Let's be honest. Here comes Haley Hernandez of the United States of America. Once again, a little lower degree of difficulty, 2.8 here for a forward 3.5 tuck position.
Beautiful. She really knows how to do that dive, and I've seen her quite a few times in the past doing those dives, and I feel like she really mastered that dive, those dives.
She's really showcasing her confidence. Knows exactly what she's doing. Beautiful entry. Nice and steady after 2 rounds, 7.5 and 8. That's worth a high five with the coach. Up next from Switzerland, Michelle Heimberg. And her second dive will be a forward 2.5, 1 twist, pike position.
Once
so
again,
unfortunate at the end.
Very, because it's so easy to do that dive for her because she jumps already really high. So she was back a little bit, but she didn't have to react to it and come out of her position right here way too late to really go get that entry after that twist.
Also have to keep that body very tight once you get in the water. 6.5s will be her scores. She knows she made a mistake here. When this happens, just got to put it aside, put it behind you, start focusing on the next dive. From Canada, Mia Vallée, Canada's rising star. The whole crew is here to support her. She'll be doing a forward 3.5 somersault pike position. Cesar Henderson paying close attention.
Okay, beautiful. I feel like Mia really needs to manage all that strength. She's very powerful. So for her doing that dive, it's not hard, but she was a little bit in trouble. So it was hard for her to push forward, but then she had a beautiful pike position and she was just missing a little bit of height to get that entry.
She didn't panic, stuck to the technique. So minimal damage here, 6.5s and 7s. Here's Randy Abelman, that's her coach from the University of Miami. I spent some time down there. He coached me as well. He's an awesome guy, yeah. Moving on now, Team China coming up. Yanni Chang, and she will be doing a back 2.5 pike position. 3.0 degree of difficulty. Yanni Chang taking her time, making sure she's very focused for each and every dive.
Oh, beautiful. Was a little bit missing for her entry, but Yanni, she's in a difficult position right now because we're not used to see Chinese people being in such a high ranking. Exactly. So for her, she has to make sure she's very focused to make sure that she will be on the top of the podium after the finals.
And in the position she is, she can apply pressure for the other divers coming after her. 8s on this one for a total of 72 points. No big mistakes. And here comes Sarah Bacon from the USA, silver medalist at the World Cup in Tokyo 2020. She knows what it takes to be at the top. She'll be doing a back 2.5 pike position.
Good save, good save. I feel like Sarah, she really pushed out with her shoulder, and that created a big momentum for her and harder to control that entry right here. And that's the reason why she landed a little bit over.
She's a little bit far from the board, which means, and you mentioned it, Jen, creates a lot of velocity, a lot of speed in the rotation. 7.5s.
Makes it harder to control that entry.
There's no brakes when you're up in the air.
We tried though.
All right, from Canada, Pamela Ware with a forward 3.5 somersault pike position.
Amazing, amazing. And one great quality about Pam is she knows how to remain calm. Right here, she was in trouble, but she didn't panic, and she knew exactly how to nail that dive, and she just did. Grab her pike position and know exactly where to grab her hand to get that beautiful entry.
Once again, a little bit far from the board. Same situation. That creates speed. She managed to control it at the end. 8s for the dive for a total of 74.40. Great job for Pamela. Yiwen Chen of China now with a back 2.5 pike position.
When you're so strong, when you're that strong, it's very hard for her to miss because her technique is very good. She knows exactly where she is. She's going, grab her pike, look at the water, and she has the time to really place her feet at the springboard and to control that entry right here.
A very flawless technique here. Being so strong also means you have to be able to manage all that strength, and she does that very well. 8.5s and 9s on the dive. Here are the rankings after 2 rounds. Yiwen Chen in first, Sarah Bacon in second, Sayaka Mikami of Japan in third. Pamela Ware just actually tied for third place with 141.90 points. Mia Vallée not too far behind. Here's Yiwen Chen in full control of this event. 3 more rounds to go. Can she hold on to this leading position? Sarah Bacon will definitely be a contender in this event. Japanese divers staying focused on what's coming up here. And here we go for round 3. Haruka Inomoto of Japan. She'll be doing an inward 2.5 pike position, 3.0 degree of difficulty.
It's going to be very important for her to stay calm at that board, to really use all the height of the board. And that's what she was missing. Just be a little bit more patient on that board to really use that powerness of the board. And that's the reason why she was not able to completely finish that dive.
It's really work that's being done. It's like the board is your teammate. You have to work together to use each other as much as possible.
But often we want to get out of it faster.
54 total points on the dive. Still very steady, no big mistakes, but it's going to take a little more to be competitive in this event. From Germany now, Lena Henschel. Her third round dive will be a back 2.5 pike position.
Wow, great save, great save. And I feel like she knew that she was maybe gonna be short, so she really went out and reached her arms to really get that entry.
And that happens so fast in the air, and you go by feeling. We know the height that we have remaining to complete this dive, so she puts that extra effort to go all the way through. 6 and 6.5s for the German. Up next is Grace Reed from Great Britain with a reverse 2.5 somersault pike position, 3.0 degree of difficulty.
Beautiful. Grace really knows how to do that dive, and she just showed it right there. She was a little bit back to the end of the board, but she didn't panic. She looked at the water 2 times, 1, 2, and then she placed her feet, and then to get that entry.
Here's the experience kicking in. 7s on the reverse 2.5 pike for a total of 63 points. Very consistent in this event so far. Up next from Australia, Brittany O'Brien. Her next dive is a back 2.5 pike position. Matthew Helm with the phone up in the air. Olympic silver medalist for Australia.
Just missing a little bit for the entry. She really had a beautiful technique, passing her arms, grabbing her pike right here. And I feel like she could have looked a little bit more at the board to really know where to put her feet and keep that abdominal tight to get that entry clean.
She has to get a handle on that speed and really know exactly how fast she spins so she can line up properly to get vertical. 57 points for the Australian. Currently in 3rd place, Sayaka Mikami of Japan. She'll be doing a reverse 2.5 pike position, 3.0 degree of difficulty.
Just a little bit of overreach for that entry. She's very powerful. She's been so fast. She sees the water, but then she reached out with her arms a little bit too much. So that's the reason why she was over and she passed the vertical.
And jumping so high, spinning so fast, you really have to stay calm in the air while this is happening. Unfortunately, a missed opportunity here. 6.5s though, not such a big miss. From the United States of America, young Olympian Haley Hernandez. She'll be doing a back 2.5 somersault in the tuck position.
Solid, very clean, very clean. I would have appreciated her toe to be a little bit more pointed in her tuck position, but in general, it was a very beautiful dive.
2.8 degree of difficulty, a little bit lower than what we're used to in this event so far, but clearly it's working very well for her. 64.40 is the total score on the dive. Up next now from Switzerland, Michelle Heimberg. Looking to get into this competition. The big dive here. Forward, 3.5 somersaults, pike position.
Wow.
Very nice.
Very nice. And I've seen Michelle competed over the years, and she improved so much. Look at that. She was very well placed on that board. She grabbed that beautiful pike, and she knew exactly where to put her hands to get that clean entry.
I will definitely give her a boost of confidence heading into the last 2 rounds. Coach is happy. 7.5s are retained. 69.75. She can be very happy with this dive. Junior Team Canada cheering on Mia Vallée here. And her third round dive will be a reverse 2.5 pike position. This is considered a very stressful dive. For all divers, really.
And this is why it's a very stressful dive. And I know that Mia, she's very strong and she doesn't need to panic when she's not in the right position. But unfortunately, she come out way too early, and that's the reason why she couldn't hit the vertical.
The adrenaline is flowing. She knows she's jumping very high, and sometimes that can affect your judgment. And that's what happened here. 5.5s on the dive. That's a disappointment for young Mia Vallée. Coming up now, Yanni Chang. She'll be doing the exact same dive, 3.0 degree of difficulty. As she takes her time to get focused. A reverse 2.5 pike position.
Yanni has a beautiful technique, so it's going to be worth it to pay attention to that technique.
What a save!
What a save. And you know what? That's what I was saying. She has a beautiful technique, and she wasn't perfectly placed at the end of the board, but she went for it. She looked at the water. She knew exactly that she was going to be short, but she placed her feet at the right place to get that beautiful entry.
She's able to make those adjustments in the air, knowing that she's in a tougher position on the board. The talent speaks for itself. You see, she got deducted for her distance from the board, 7.5s. I want to say this is considered a bit of a miss for Yanni Chang. Up next now, Sarah Bacon. She'll be doing the exact same dive. Also a very powerful diver.
She overreacted because, yes, she wasn't perfectly placed and she pushed out of the board. But if she would have stayed tight for that entry, she would have had a great one. So right here, she should have really kept her abdominal very tight, and she would have really had a good entry. But unfortunately, she let it loose, so that's made her being short.
Missed opportunity here for Sarah Bacon. 63 points is the total score on the dive.
And the reverse 2.5, it's a very hard dive for women's.
Up next now, Pamela Ware from Canada. She'll be doing an inward 2.5 pike position. This being one of her more difficult dives.
Beautiful. And it used to be Pam's most difficult dive, but over the years she's worked so hard on that dive, and now she knows how to do it really good. Her pike position is beautiful, and she knows exactly where to look at the entry to get it well done.
Very impressed with all of the improvements on this dive. And it's going to pay off here today in Montreal. The home crowd loved it. So did the judges. 8s for a total of 72 points.
And let me tell you, Alex, she really did work hard on that dive, and it pays.
All right, coming right up. Very composed Yi Wen Chen with a reverse 2.5 pike position. the current world champion.
So high. Look at that height right here. She's doing 2.5 rotation above the 3-meter springboard. She knows exactly where she is, and she has the time to really control that come out right here to have that beautiful entry.
Technique nearly flawless here, and the scores tell us exactly that. 9.5 as well. Huge score of 82.50. And that solidifies her lead. Yuen Chen in first, Pamela Ware getting onto the podium positions here second, Yanni Chang in third. Very tight also for third place. Sarah Bacon is right there. That's very rare after 3 dives that we have a tie, so it's a very, very exciting competition. Two more rounds to go. This competition is far from being over.
Very far.
Yuen Chen in full control so far. She has to remain focused.
And usually, Alex, the 4th round is a very hard round.
Taking a look back at some of the exquisite diving that Yuen Chen has given us today. Just a masterclass in precision. Every movement is calculated.
Very strong diver and beautiful.
She makes it seem very effortless. Everything looks easy. The power that she has.
And that's what we want.
Absolutely, we love to see that. Pamela Ware just staying very focused as her event continues as well. In good position right now, currently in second. Coming up now, Haruka Enomoto of Japan, reverse 2.5 pike position.
Once again, the overreaction. She came out of a pike position way too early. And that was a great opportunity for her to go get, because she's so high. She could have really waited just a little bit. And here she opened way too early, and she couldn't hit the vertical.
A lot of times in competition, we have a little extra adrenaline. It's not something that we do very often, to jump so high, and the athlete doesn't know what to do with all that height.
Yes,
and all that energy.
And when you're in a situation when you're stressed, you have the nerves, you get very sensitive. Everything gets more sensitive. So it's really a good challenge to work on that.
Up next now from Germany, Lena Henschel. She'll be doing the exact same dive, reverse 2.5 pike position, 3.0 degree of difficulty.
Good save, good save. And that's what I was talking about. We get very sensitive, but then at the same time, you can't panic. And she just did that. She was a little bit forward, but she didn't panic. She even bent her arms there, but she went to do her reverse. She seized the water 2 times, and then she went for that entry.
A lot of awareness is what she's showing us here. 6.5s. This dive could have ended up being a lot worse than this, so good damage control here. Coming up next now from Great Britain, Grace Reed. Her next dive is an inward 2.5 somersaults, pike position.
Grace, she's very tall, so it's going to be very important for her to really use that board to really make that dive easy for her. Great, and that's what I was saying, like it's very hard for her to get into that pike position since she's very tall. So she went a little bit too much fast in her pike position right here, and that's the reason why she was missing a little bit of height to really finish that dive.
Technique becomes very, very important in situations like this. 6.5 and 7s on the dive. Grace Reed, happy with this dive. Coming up now, Brittany O'Brien of Australia, former platform diver, now onto the 3-meter springboard. She'll be doing a reverse 2.5 somersault pike position.
beautiful. And as you mentioned, Alex, she was a platform diver. And on platform, you really need that speed. But here on Springboard, it's more technical. So you really need to use that board instead of really rushing it into that pike position to get that speed to be able to control that entry at the end.
6.5s on the dive for a total of 58.50. Very steady, no big mistakes so far from the Australian. Very big dive coming up here for Sayaka Mikami. She'll be doing a forward 2.5 with 2 twists, one of very few women competing this dive here, 3.4 degree of difficulty.
And you can see the reaction of her coach. He's so happy because that dive demands a lot of strengthness, and she jumped so high, and she was able to really grab that pike position. She stayed tight in her twist to get that entry. And let me tell you, Alex, when you get that dive done, she will be very happy, and I can trust me, she will be happy.
You know what you're talking about. You used to compete that dive. Big score here, 78.20. Mission accomplished for the Japanese diver. Tough act to follow now for Haley Hernandez of the United States of America. Can she stay focused on her reverse 2.5 tuck position?
Wow, I feel like she has really a strong character, because to be able to dive and to make a great dive after such a beautiful dive on the previous diver, you have to be strong mentally, and she just did. Yes, it's a little bit a smaller dive, but she knows exactly where she is to make sure she nails it.
I feel like at her age, she's learning about controlling her emotions, her energy, and then eventually, obviously, going up to bigger degree of difficulty. She can be very happy. Steady competition with one more round to go for the young American. Coming up next now, Michelle Heimberg of Switzerland. She'll be doing a back 2.5 somersault pike position.
Wow, great save. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, Alex, but her feet moved from the board right here. They went forward, and that's not good, because when you're doing a back 2.5, you really want to have your feet pushing the board and not create a momentum, but she knew exactly how to control it to get that great dive.
Fine little details. They don't get past you, Jen. 7.5s for the dive. The crowd getting ready for Mia Vallée and her 4th dive, which will be a back 2.5 pike position.
Very easy dive for Mia, so she will only need to manage that strain.
She hasn't competed at home in quite a while, so the nerves are definitely present.
Still just missing a little bit for the quality of the entry. And as you mentioned a little bit earlier, she hasn't competed at home for a few years. So now having everybody coming and watch her, that could put a little pressure on her shoulders.
And she's not being quite herself. We both know that she can be at a much higher level of competition. 54 is the total score for Mia. One more round to go for her, hopefully to end this competition on a high note. Here's the bronze medalist from the World Championships in Budapest last year. Yanni Chang from China with a forward 3.5 somersault pike position.
A pretty hard dive for her.
Makes it look easy
Makes
today.
it look easy, but you'll see that Yanni needs to push forward to get that speed of rotation, and her pike was a little bit too big from the beginning, so it would have been easier for her to get that speed going on if she would have grabbed her pike position tighter from the beginning.
7.5s and an 8 are being retained for the dive. Again, very high level of diving, but we're used to a little bit more from the Chinese divers. Be interesting to see. I'd be interested to know what the coaches are telling her after these dives. Sarah Bacon of the United States of America. She'll be doing the same dive. Forward, 3.5 somersaults, pike.
Oh, beautiful. And just an overreaction for the entry. And sometimes that can come with the nerves. She had a beautiful pike position, very tight. And then she was anticipated that come out to get that entry a little too soon.
A couple of degrees short from the vertical. That's going to cost a little bit of points, but 7.5s and 8s. She can be happy with that. From Canada. Her next dive, a very strong one for her. A reverse 2.5 pike position, 3.0 degree of difficulty.
Wow! Amazing! And that used to be Pam's best favorite dive, and I know I always wanted it to do it good as her. She was very far from the end of the board, but she didn't panic. She knows exactly where she is in the water to really place her feet and get that beautiful entry.
Big smiles for Pamela, and Tong Hui, the coach, not showing too much emotion, but I know he's happy as well.
Yes. Amazing. Very, very good for Pamela.
She could be very happy about that dive. One more in this round. None other than Yiwen Chen. She's in full control of this event so far. She'll be doing a forward 3.5 somersault pike position, 3.1 degree of difficulty.
She is so strong, and the thing is she's finishing 3.5 rotation above the 3 meter springboard. And what's really good about it is when she uses that board, it doesn't make sound, so that means she has a perfect timing with the board.
And she's really great at showcasing her strength. Jumping way up high in the air. The judges love to see that.
Wow.
Here are the massive scores of 9s, 83.70. What an event she's having so far.
And 323 points in 4th round. It's very, very high.
Very high score so far. 285.90 for Pamela Ware of Canada in 2nd place. Sarah Bacon in 3rd. Mia Vallée currently in 9th place. She's looking to finish off strong in this field. Let's just take another quick look. Here's the leader of this event. Another look at this front 3.5 pike. It's so hard to find anything wrong with this dive. There's the teammates cheering her on. Sarah Bacon dealing with
her nails.
A broken nail right now. She's in 3rd place right now. 2nd place, Pamela Ware, getting geared up for one more round of diving. And here we go with Haruka Inomoto. Her last dive will be a back 2.5 pike.
Great finish, great finish. She could have used the board a little bit more to get it to be higher, and that would have made it easier for her to really go get that entry right here. She was missing height to get her hands at the right place and get that entry.
80% of the dive is the entry in the water. It's the last thing the judges see. 6.5s and 7 here. She's happy with the performance. Big smile for the Japanese. Knows exactly what she has to work on for the next ones. Lena Henschel of Germany now with a forward 2.5. One twist, pike position. This will be her last dive of the day.
Beautiful, beautiful. I feel like when you do that dive, you really have to come out that pike position really tight to get into that twist and be able to really control that entry. And unfortunately, she kept her head a little bit too much in, and that's the reason why she rolled.
A lot of positivity in the air here at the pool. 7s to finish off the day. No big mistakes for Lena. Consistency is always key in diving. Now she has to work a little harder to get that level just a tiny little bit higher. Here comes Grace Reed, and her last dive will be a forward 3.5 somersaults, pike position. Very demanding dive for her.
Beautiful.
Well done.
Well done, well done. The quality of the entry could have been better than that. But for Grace, it's very hard to get into that pike position because she's very tall. So if she can get that pike position and get that speed rotation, then it will be much easier for her to really place her arms at the right place and get that clean entry.
6.5s and 7s, 62 total score on the dive. She's happy in the end. Good day at work for Grace Reed. From Australia now, Brittany O'Brien. Her last dive will be a forward 2.5 with one twist, pike position.
Beautiful. She kept her pike position at the end, and that's the reason why she rolled. And we will be able to see that she's been very fast, so she has to really control that. But if she would have extended her hands and her body, would have been easier for her to not roll over at the end.
And that creates the splash. 6.5s to finish off. Still all smiles for the Australian as well. Disappointment here. All right, from Japan now, Sayaka Mikami after such a big dive in the previous round. She'll be doing a back 2.5 somersault, pike position, 3.0 degree of difficulty.
Oh, no. And you know what, Alex? When you do a big dive like she just did the previous round, it's very hard after to come back and have brushed that out because you're still in the your nerves are still active, you're still shaky about that dive. And unfortunately, she come out way too early, and that's the reason why she landed short.
Disappointing finish for the Japanese diver. Here are the scores, 4.5 and 5s, unfortunately. She knows she could have done a whole lot better than that for the last round. Pamela Ware getting geared up. She's in great position. Her last dive coming up. But before then, United States, Haley Hernandez. Her last dive is a forward 2.5 with one twist, pike position.
Good, good.
Impressive performance today.
Yes, very, very stable. She was very at the end of the board, but she had that speed, and she was very tight for that twist, and she kept her head a little bit in, and that's the reason why she rolled over a little bit.
6.5s and 7s. She can be happy with that. Definitely something to build on. Lots of potential for the future. Michelle Heimberg from Switzerland. Very stressful last dive with a reverse 2.5 pike position. 3.0 degree of difficulty.
Wow, great save, great save. She wasn't totally at the end of the board, but she didn't panic. She really uses her great technique. She sees the water 2 times, but unfortunately, she might overreacted to the fact that she was back on the board, and that's the reason why she placed her feet a little higher, and she landed over.
Very steady performance, 63 points for the Swiss. She can be happy with that. From Canada now, Mia Vallée wants to finish off strong. Hasn't been such a great day for her in the pool. Lots more potential for her. A forward 2.5 with 1 twist, pike position. Can she finish off strong?
Beautiful, beautiful, and that's how you want to finish a dive. You want to finish your competition on a good note. And I feel like Mia, she really had to brush her competition off. She went to do that dive. It's a pretty easy dive for her, and she really did had a great dive.
Part of the learning curve, competing at home here with a big crowd. You can see the disappointment. Smiling to the crowd that supported her throughout this whole event. Here's your current leader. Her last dive coming up as well. Will it be just as flawless as it's been so far? Yanni Chang will also finish off with a forward 2.5, 1 twist. Not a difficult dive for her to accomplish.
Beautiful. And you see that she didn't push out as much as her previous dive, and I'm really sure that the judges will love it.
Finds that vertical with a perfect entry in the water. I do feel like she could dive at a higher level.
Yes, she does. I've
Good.
seen her.
You've competed against her at a higher level. 72 points to finish off her competition. No major mistakes. She did leave something behind today. Sarah Bacon of the United States of America. Same dive for her, 3.0 degree of difficulty. Forward 2.5 with 1 twist, pike position.
Very important for Sarah to stay focused.
Definitely in the hunt for this podium. Looking for a top 3 finish here.
I thought that was gonna go over, but Sarah has so much experience. She knows how to stop that dive to have a beautiful entry right here. She grabbed that pike, twist position very tight, and the entry is phenomenal.
Definitely a great showing of character here, finishing off strong, making sure that she is on that podium. 76.50 to end off her event. Big smile, she's very happy. As the nerves start calming down.
Yes. Great performance from Sarah.
All right. Speaking of nerves, I know Pamela Ware is very focused for the last dive. A very very good one for her. She's making the American nervous. Forward 2.5 with 1 twist, pike position.
Wow, beautiful, amazing. And you know, Sarah just did the same dive and she put a lot of pressure on Pam. But Pam, she has so much experience. She didn't let that affected her. She uses the crowd energy, and she did an amazing dive. She really knows how to do that dive well, and she just showed everybody.
And I've seen Pam compete here over the years. She loves diving at home in front of the home crowd. Her family is here. Tears of joy coming
Tears
for
of
her.
joy, yes.
79.50 on the dive, and that puts her in second place position.
And knowing Pamela, she came from far from the Tokyo Olympic Games, and just seeing her perform so well in front of everyone, I know that's gonna put a lot of big smile in her face. Very happy for her.
We both know she's been working so hard on her training.
Yes.
And today it's paying off.
Well deserved.
Here's the leader of the event. I'm not gonna lie, we would need quite the disaster for her not to win this event. But everything is possible in diving. Here's a forward 2.5, 1 twist, pike position for Yuan Chan of China.
Wow. Nothing can shake her.
Exceptional.
Yeah, nothing can shake her. She's very good, and she knows that she got it. She's so high, and it seems so easy. Her pike position is beautiful, and she knows exactly where to place her arms to get that beautiful entry, very clean.
And the one thing she does so well, and we said it before, she is so powerful and has an amazing amount of strength, but she also makes it look so easy. It doesn't show that she is using that strength to the maximum. Very, very solid performance. 81 points on the dive. She is extremely happy with her diving. So is the rest of her team.
I'm pretty sure that's close to her personal best, because 404.70, it's a lot on Springboard.
And you know all about that. Any score above 400 points is just completely outstanding.
Very, very.
Mia Valle also in tears. Maybe not for the same reason as Pamela Ware. She's had a bit of a rougher day, but what amazing diving we saw here today. Here's your top 3 divers. Pamela Ware on the left. Yuan Chan in the middle for first place. Sarah Bacon in third for the United States of America.
That was an amazing competition.
There was a tight fight for third place with Yanni Chang as well, just a few points behind. Mia Valle in 9th of Canada. She has her work cut out for her. She wants to be competitive at this level. Absolutely amazing performances today. And I'm really, really happy for Pamela Ware, because I know how hard she's been working for this. And for it to happen here at home,
yes, in front of everybody, yes.
Exceptional diving here from Montreal. One more event to go in the day, men's 10-meter final, as the boys are warming up. We'll be right back at the World Aquatics Diving World Cup.
Another reminder that coming up very shortly will be the medal presentation for the women's 3-meter springboard event. Montreal, please welcome the medal ceremony for the women's 3-meter springboard championship final.
Montréal, veuillez accueillir vos médaillés pour l'épreuve des femmes au tremplin de 3 mètres.
The medal and gift will be presented by
Les médailles et cadeaux seront remis par
member of the World Aquatics Technical Diving Committee,
membre du comité technique de plongeon de World Aquatics,
Mohamed Hassan. The winner of the bronze medal,
gagnant de la médaille de bronze,
representing United States of America,
représentant les États-Unis d'Amérique,
Sarah Bacon. The winner of the silver medal,
Gagnant de la médaille d'argent.
representing Canada,
Représentant le Canada.
Pamela Ware. Winner of the gold medal and World Aquatics Diving World Cup champion,
Gagnante de la médaille d'or et championne de la Coupe du monde World Aquatics de plongeon.
representing People's Republic of China,
Représentant la République populaire de Chine.
Shen Yuan. Athletes, the podium is yours. Diving fans, please rise if you are able and join for the national anthem of People's Republic of China.
Veuillez vous lever si vous le pouvez pour l'hymne national de la République populaire de Chine.
Montreal, make some noise for your World Cup medalists.
Montréal, faites du bruit pour vos médaillés de cette Coupe du monde de plongeon.
All right, here's your winner, Chen Yuan from China. Chen, you came out strong. I mean, overall, you have an almost 40-point lead over Pamela Ware, silver medalist. Now, that's quite the gap. What does that say about your performance?
其实，在比赛的过程中，我没有太多的去关注那个分数，包括比分板，就努力在做好自己的动作吧。然后，对于今天的发挥，其实不是十分的满意，但是我觉得在这阶段的训练来说是比较不错的。
During competition, she didn't pay much attention to the scores, just focus on the next dive. And 下一半什么？后半句是什么？
今天的满意就也。
She's not 100% satisfied about today's performance, but she has tried her best, and she wants to get better performance in future.
All right, now I asked Chen before the interview, let's go back to 2019. She wins gold at the World Championships in South Korea in front of hometown favorite Kim Soo-jae. Now she wins gold here at the World Cup in Canada in front of hometown favorite Pamela Ware, who wins silver. Is that her way of telling her opponents, you're never really on home turf when I'm around?
他说：“你听懂了吗？19年的时候你打败了那个在韩国打败韩国当地的选手，然后今天又在这儿打败了当地的那个帕米拉马尔，然后你是不是想告诉他们你来了就是你就是王者，这个意思？”
也没有啊，就主要还是做好自己嘛，就我觉得还是多少有一点运气成分在里面的吧。就是这么多年，从1米板到3米板，也经历了3到4年的一个磨练吧。我觉得，今天的发挥在这一阶段的训练来说，确实算不错的。但我觉得我还可以更好吧，就突破自己的那一个方向吧。
No. She just felt she's a little bit lucky, and yes, pay much attention to herself. From 1 meter to 3 meter, in the past 3 or 4 years, she has just focused on his own techniques and his own dives. So maybe in the future, had more chance to compete with other divers.
A little bit lucky, but a lot of hard work and dedication and good sports. Well done, young lady. Congratulations, Chen. Chen Yuan, our World Cup gold medalist here at Olympic Park in Montreal.